Welcome to the championship edition, Les, of the Southern California Prep Insider Baseball Podcast. Tommy and Les here to give you top 10, top players, and a breakdown of the Division 7 through 1 championship games. Should be exciting. We've got field reporters everywhere, too. Les, we will start, like always, with your top 10.
Yes, sir. Let's jump into the swan song here, Tommy. So let's go 10-1. Number 10, Santa Margarita breaks in the top 10 this week. They're playing for the D2 title on Saturday against Norco. A really good team. Ukaipa checks in at number 9. They made it to the quarterfinals of the CIF. Same with the Lisa Miguel at number 8. Ukaipa lost to Cyprus. Lisa Miguel lost to Huntington Beach. Number 7 is Miracosta. They lost in the quarterfinals there to La Mirada on Saturday. Number 6 is Redondo, who unfortunately lost yesterday to Santa Margarita. Again, keep in mind, these were done
beginning of the week.
Before the games were played.
Can't stress that enough, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Number 5, Olu, despite their loss last week, still one of the best teams in the state, if not the country. Number 4, Harvard Westlake. They'll face off against Cyprus in the championship of Division 1. Number 3 is Huntington Beach, who Harvard Westlake beat yesterday. Again, these were released on Monday. And number 2, La Mirada, who lost yesterday in extra innings to number 1, Cyprus, who faces off, like I said, against Harvard Westlake in the Division 1 championships on Saturday at Dodger Stadium.
Yep, should be a good one. Again, it's at Dodger Stadium. It's on the 18th. Make sure you get your tickets. I don't think they'll sell out, but get your tickets anyway. Get them early. Les, who were your players of the week from last week?
Yeah, players of the week, just taking a look at some guys that I saw last week. Let's start with Luke Davis, the freshman out of Cyprus, the USC commit. He smashed the game-winning home run for Cyprus in the 7th inning. It was the top of the 7th, but nonetheless, it proved to be the winner last week against Capital Valley. Next is Jared Jones. There's just so much we can say about this guy. Touched 99 miles an hour on the mound. Hit just a mammoth home run. That's all over the internet. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Next is Blake Wink, the senior Fresno State commit out of Yorba Linda High School. Really big game in their win against Sarah, 3 for 4. Hit a line drive, put a bunt single, played really good defense. Just a stud player, in my opinion. Last but not least is senior Jared Caros. He was lights out in their win against Notre Dame last week in the quarterfinals. Threw a complete game 4-hitter, allowed 1 run, striking out 10. UCLA commit has had a really, really big season for Miracosta this year.
Yeah, and the javelin bat toss I have never seen before, so that was a first for me. I don't know if you've ever seen. That was probably the furthest bat toss I can remember.
I don't think I've seen that in the United States, maybe in one of those Dominican games, but, man, he absolutely destroyed that ball, man. And it's how he plays, man. He celebrates, and it's somewhat refreshing. Some people don't like it. Some people do.
I will say this. I think in the Asian leagues, they throw the bat pretty crazy, too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they get after it.
They get after it. We're going to go to field reporters really quickly before we get back to the championship games.
I'm here with Alex Schreier and Connor Bain of Santa Margarita after the Eagles come on the road and beat Redondo Union 9-1 to advance to the Division II championship game, Dodger Stadium. Alex, we'll start with you. Complete game on the mound. How does it feel getting to Dodger Stadium? Must be a dream come true.
Yeah, it feels great. This team's been working since last summer to get here, and Coach always talks about the dream of getting to Dodger Stadium, and finally making it come true feels really good. It feels good for this whole team, for the coaches, for families, for everyone that's put in countless hours of work, dinners, practices to get to this point.
Connor, 2 home runs in a semifinal game to advance to Dodger Stadium. What does that mean to you?
It was really awesome just coming out here with all my teammates, getting this win in the semifinals. All I could really hope for. It was really a dream come true, able to come here, win, and be able to compete at Dodger Stadium.
We see so many of the Trinity League teams have been knocked out of the playoffs, and you guys were middle of the road in that league. How much did that challenge help you get to this point, playing in a really tough league?
We feel like it definitely prepared us for these playoffs and these loud, rigorous type games. A lot of going back and forth with teams and battles. And our league's one of the toughest in the country. We're the only D2 team this year, so we really want to make a statement and help move this team back to D1 moving into the future.
Connor, same question for you.
It really prepared us, facing firmer pitching, better defense overall, just really helped us prepare for this kind of atmosphere, and it's really been able to help us get that edge over everyone.
It's a special group here. The chemistry is second to none. How fun is it to be a part of this team?
It's extremely fun. Every team here I've had at SM is really fun. This one has a special feel to it, a winning feel, unlike a few of the other years, but it's always been super fun playing here at SM, and I'm glad we're going out my last year with a bang.
This team is undescribable. Look at right here. It's unbelievable. It's just awesome to be a part of.
And last thing for you guys, one more to win a championship. What's that going to take?
Just what we've been doing all season. Keep battling, keep the dugout loud, keep all the energy, offense, defense, everything coming together as usual, and we should be able to go home with the ring.
Connor, can you hit one out in Dodger Stadium?
I hope so, but as long as we win, that's all that really matters. That's all that really matters.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Alex, Connor, on to Dodger Stadium, as is the rest of the Santa Margarita Eagles. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Les, as you mentioned, championship weekend, Dodger Stadium, the whole shebang. Most of these games we played May 18th, all of them, right? All May 18th?
All of them are Saturday with divisions 1, 2, and 3 at Dodger Stadium, 4 through 7 at the Riverside Sports Complex.
Which, again, not a bad consolation prize. Always nice to get those neutral site games and those nice big stadiums. We will start off with the Division 7 game. Les, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, here we go. Marshall and Arroyo. Arroyo comes in 14-8-1. They made it to the finals on the back of their pitching, timely hitting so far in the playoffs. They've had 2 wins by 5 runs or more and 2 one-run wins in the playoffs, so they've seen a little bit of everything. Senior Felix Perez is the man for the Knights. He's hitting .406, 7-3 on the mound with a 2.1 ERA. As a team, they've got a 1.94 ERA. Excuse me. For Marshall, the Eagles come in with 16-8-1 overall record, led by Sam Karp, who's hitting .367. Alex Nava leads the Eagles on the mound with a 6-2 record and a 1.44 ERA. This one could come down to who makes the fewest mistakes, and that favors Marshall. Arroyo's fielding at an .897 clip. They've committed 30 errors on the season. Marshall's been only tested once this postseason. That should happen again on Saturday. But in the end, I like the Eagles to walk away with the D7 title here.
I'll go the other way. I'll go with the Dons. Noah Amaral is really their only hitter that you have to worry about. He's got 2 home runs, 4 triples for Arroyo. The pitching is going to be key. You mentioned the pitching stats already. I don't need to mention them again. But I think it's going to be a low-scoring game here. You always have the nerves with the championship game. Normally favors the pitchers so they can settle down before the hitters can. I will go with Arroyo. Next game, it is the Division 6 matchup. It is Costa Mesa and Rio Honda Prep.
Man, how about a Cinderella story, man? Costa Mesa is playing for a CIF title for the first time since the early 60s. They're 15-11 overall and somewhat cruised in the postseason, with their closest margin of victory being a 5-3 win over Vista del Lago. Sophomore Kyle Anderson leads a trio of Mustangs that are hitting over 400, Tommy, while senior Cameron Chapman is their guy on the mound with a 1.14 ERA. Rio Hondo Prep comes in 17-7 overall. They've cruised to the finals as well. Senior Jake Lang is hitting .432 and leads a team in most offensive categories. Senior Evan Four and sophomore Jake Banclave combined for a nice 1-2 punch on the mound. Rio Hondo's got the advantage at the plate and on the mound here, in my opinion, but it's hard not to like Cinderella, Tommy, so I'm going to go with Costa Mesa here.
I'll be the bad guy. I'll go with Rio Honda. You mentioned Floor. He's hitting .390 as well, leads the team ties for the team lead with 1 home run. They're 6-6 in league. Tough league schedule. I think iron sharpens iron, so I will go with Rio Honda here in the Division 6 category. Going on to Division 5 now. It is Paulie from Pasadena and Xavier Prep.
Yeah, let's stay with that Cinderella theme here a little bit. Xavier Prep could fit in that category. The Saints are a scrappy, fundamental team that will put pressure on opponents, man. Sophomore Jordan Ruiz leads the offense with .385 batting average and hitting 100 points higher than the next player on the team. So gives you an idea how valuable he's been. He also pitches. He's 4-1 on the season with a 2.6 ERA. Meanwhile, Poly Prep comes in 19-3, the number 1 overall seed in this tournament. They haven't really been tested this postseason, but that should change on Saturday. Both of these teams are loaded with underclassmen, man. Poly has 3 seniors and 1 junior, while Xavier Prep only has 4 juniors and a senior on their roster. So the future is bright for both of these teams. But for Xavier Prep, I think the future is now. I'm going with the Saints to finish off the dream season and walk away with the title here.
Yeah, I'll go with the 3 seniors for Paulie. Paulie undefeated in league, which I generally don't like when I'm picking playoff teams, but I'll go with them for this one. Moving on to Division 4. Les, we got Kennedy and Sonora.
Yeah, man, this is a battle of teams separated by about 15 miles, man. The Deep Four should be a really good one, man. Sonora comes in at 24-8. They cruised into the semis before needing a walk-off by Andrew Peralta to advance yesterday. Senior catcher Isaac Ramirez, who's a potential MLB draft pick in a few weeks, is hitting .393, which is really remarkable considering this guy gets no pitches to hit in any games, really. Junior Joey Flores is thriving. He's hitting .419 while the Raiders are sporting a 1.44 team ERA. Kennedy comes in at 25-9 and have had a couple close games this postseason. Keep in mind, they play in the same league as Cypress, and they gave those guys a run for their money this season. They've got 4 players hitting .319 or better, led by all-everything junior Wyatt Johnson, who's hitting .434 and 113 plate appearance. He's also 7-1 on the mound with a 1.1 ERA. On paper, Kennedy should win this one walking away, but Sonora is going to be solid, man. They're going to be tough to beat. In the end, though, I like the Fighting Irish. I think they have a little bit too much on the mound. They'll walk away as the D4 champs here in 2019, in my opinion.
I'll go with Sonora. I think it'll be a close one, though, but I will go the other way. Next game, Division III, it's La Cañada and Great Oak.
La Cañada sandwich a pair of blowouts, with a pair of tight games this postseason. Their third-round game against Ocean View is what postseason baseball is all about, man. 2-1 win in 11 innings. Senior Ryan Graves, who just committed to San Jose State earlier this week, leads the way at the plate and on the mound for the Spartans. He's hitting .467 with a 1.47 ERA. Senior Ty Walton is an exciting player to watch, as is junior Ian Tinkham. Great Oak, meanwhile, is back, man. Head coach Eric Morton stepped away to be the AD for a year or two, and he's back. Zach Arnold, an Oregon commit, leads the offense, hitting .424. The Wolfpack have 4 other regulars hitting .300 or better. Cameron Mabey is the ace of a staff that is a 2.38 ERA. The Wolfpack's been tested, man. They play in, a tough league, top to bottom. They've also played in a really good spring break tournament this year. In a game that should feature 2 big-time pitchers where runs could be a premium, I think I like Great Oak a little bit more in this one, so I'm going to go with the Wolfpack to be D3 champs.
I'll go with what I would call the upset. I'll go with La Cañada. Connor Buchanan, another kid I want to mention for La Cañada. 6 home runs and 80 at-bats so far. Kid's got some pop, and again, it might be one of those games where one swing of the bats game might be 1-0 game. So kids like that, got to watch out for them in the middle lineup. Division II now, it's Santa Margarita and Norco.
Yeah, this could be one of the best games of the day. Santa Margarita is on its way back under head coach Chris Malik, while Norco and head coach Gary Parcell are back where they belong, and that's playing for championships. Both teams are loaded with talent. Both teams do a lot of things that put pressure on the opponent. Both teams pitch, hit, and defend really, really well. There's stud players on both sides of this game. For Norco, Chris Conniff, Menelik Israel, Stuart Slesser, Michael Forbes, and Bryce Sermonelli are just a few of the names to follow. Meanwhile, for Santa Margarita, Milan Tolentino, Johnny Gianola, Connor Bain, Kobe Wallace, the list goes on and on, Matthew McClure, Alex Schreier. Those guys should all have an impact in this game. Much like the D5 game, this one's going to come down to executing game plan and catching a break or two, I think. I like both of these teams and both of these coaches and hate to have to pick one over the other. But since we have to, I'm going to go with Santa Margarita to sneak this one out and be D2 champs.
I'll go the other way. I'll go with Norco. Final game, the Division I game, the big dogs. It is Cypress and Harvard Westlake. Les, you have Cypress number 1 in your rankings. Does that mean they will be picked to win this game?
We'll see here. Tell me 2 of the best teams, 2 of the best programs in D1. They're going to battle it out, man. I saw both these teams here. I saw Harvard Westlake yesterday, Cypress last week. And there's very few weaknesses on either club, man. Cypress had to go extra innings yesterday, which could play a role. They used Wozniak and Rapetti, both the races in that game, so it'll be interesting which direction they go on the mound. Harvard Westlake, meanwhile, used their ace Sam Laboki just to close out the 7th, which sets them up well to get the start at Dodger Stadium. Both teams have had a challenge on the road to the finals, with Cypress beating La Mirada in extra innings, while Harvard Westlake had to use extra innings to beat Orange Lutheran. Tommy, I don't want to make a pick in this one because both these coaches are buddies of mine, and I hate to go against one or the other, but because I have to, you guessed it, I'm going to take Cypress to win their first Division I title.
Before I even pick the game, I want to give a big congrats to Cypress. 30 wins already this season. That is incredible. 30-3 record coming into this. I don't think I've seen that in a while. Harvard Westlake, not too shabby either, 27-5-1. My favorite stat to look at, common opponents. They have almost the exact same record. The only teams that they both lost to equally is Orange Lutheran, but then both of them went back and beat Orange Lutheran. So really tough to tell. I'm going to go with Harvard Westlake here just to be contrarian. But like you said, these are two teams that are highly rated, not only in the section, not only in the state, but in the nation. Two of the best. This could easily be a national championship game for all I'm concerned. So I will go with Harvard Westlake here, but no hard feelings either way. Both these teams with amazing seasons, amazing teams. And it's a shame this game can't be on national TV or something like that because I really think these are two of the best in the country.
No, you're absolutely right, man. And you talk to these coaches, and to a man, most of them say you win the CIF Southern Section Division I title. You certainly should be state champs, in my opinion, and in theirs. And some of those guys think, hey, any given season, that team could be the national champ. And I'll tell you what, if Cypress wins this and they go 31-3, it's going to be really hard for anyone to say that they're not a national champion.
I agree. This is going to be one of those games. Hey, like you said, it's at Dodger Stadium, May 18th. If you squint your eyes really hard and don't really pay attention to the logos, you'll probably think it's a major league game. And if you don't listen for the ping, obviously. That's a wood bat sound. It'll be a fantastic one. If there's one game you see all year, obviously a Division I game, but make sure you make your way out there. Some future major league talent out there, Les?
Oh, no question. No question. Harvard Westlake has a pair of juniors that will be highly thought of coming into the draft next year, and Pete Crow Armstrong and Drew Bowser. Many guys think that Pete Crow Armstrong's a top 5 pick overall. On Cypress's side, Cameron Rapetti is a guy who will, in all likelihood, go to college, but he's going to have a chance in pro ball after college because the way he plays the game, he's just a fiery competitor. You talk about some of the other guys over at Cypress, Michael Marsh. The list kind of goes on with the guys they have there that will have a chance beyond college to play some pro ball. Then you dip into the underclassmen ranks on both of those teams, and they already have committed players. We mentioned Luke Davis. I mean, that left-handed swing is going to draw the attention of scouts. It already has the attention of scouts, but when it comes to his turn to be a senior, he's going to be one of those guys that will be highly sought after. And remember the name of Jacob Galloway. He's a freshman catcher over at Harvard Westlake. So that's another interesting little tidbit. Both teams will roll out freshman catchers in that D1 title. But Jacob Galloway over at Harvard Westlake is really starting to put it together with the bat, and he's going to be a guy that in 2-3 years, drafts scouts are really going to pay attention to when it comes to his draft class.
I will say this, starting as a freshman at any school is very impressive on the varsity team. Doing it at arguably one of the best in the country, you can do the math. Everyone enjoy the championship games. We might be back with a bonus recap, award style podcast afterwards. But make sure, again, go out to Dodger Stadium, watch those games. Go out to Riverside to watch the other ones. Les, where can they find you?
You hit us up on Twitter at PBR_California, on Instagram at PBR California. The website's prepbaseballreport.com. We're always rolling stuff out. Be sure to check us out. We'll have 3 or 4 guys covering the Dodger Stadium games and 1 or 2 guys covering the Riverside games. Then we'll head down to San Diego next week to fully blow that out.
Yeah, you'll have more guys there than umpires. That's pretty impressive. As always, out real time and worse. If you need to holler at me and make fun of my picks or whatever you want to do, you can find me there. We will see you next week.